I did think it was interesting when the reports came out that LeBron was going to take a pay cut to give the Lakers some flexibility to sign, his list of guys, basically, that was put out there. Harden, Jonas Valanciunas found his name on that list. I'm sure Jonas woke up ecstatic by that. Probably played a role in getting him paid 3 years, $30 million from the Wizards. But the guys that were on that list are gone. They've signed elsewhere. Clay's gone. Harden's gone. Valanciunas is gone.
I think DeRozan's the only one left.
Yeah, DeRozan's on the list. DeRozan, I don't know if he makes the Lakers. DeRozan's a great player to have the ball in his hands in the closing moments, right? He's a great clutch time player, but he's still kind of that analog player in a digital age. He's not a 3-point shooter. And the Lakers, one of their biggest problems last year was not having 3-point shooting. They were an efficient 3-point shooting team. They were 8th in the NBA, but then they were 26th, I think, in attempts per game. And that's not how you win in 2024. So I don't know how that makes a ton of sense for them. I think it's still on the table for sure as we record this on Monday night, but I don't know that makes them measurably better. So, what seems most likely, Mark, is that we get LeBron back on a max deal, 3 years, $150 million, and they kind of run back most of the group they had last season and hope that Austin Reeves, Rui Hashimura, D'Angelo Russell, all these guys discover the magic they had 2 years ago and not kind of the messiness of last season.
Yeah, and I don't think that's clearly going to be enough. I think JJ Redick, because of the way he can have better relationships.
Let me add Dalton Connect to that. Dalton Connect, who apparently is now going to become Larry Bird. Everybody loves Dalton.
They got the Connect 4 jersey ready for him.
I do love that, Mark. Not to interrupt you here, but I do love that this draft went from being called absolute dog shit by everyone for 4 months to now it's the Lakers got this guy in the teens and this guy was available in the 20s and that second round pick is going to be an impact player. You can't have it both ways. Either this draft sucks or it's good in spots. That part of it befuddled me.
Yeah. I think it was in between. I remember talking to some people before the draft. They said, hey, it's not clear there's a generational star at the top, but there's still quality players and intriguing players. So,
like Dalton Connect, Mark's slipping as far as he did. I want to know why. I think it's most likely defense, right? I don't think he's a good defensive player. And that you can't play in the NBA if you're not at least serviceable on the defensive end. There have been a lot of guys, Mark, that have been great shooters that haven't gotten real NBA minutes because they are liabilities on the defensive end. So he's going to have to prove that he can defend before they roll him out there on the floor for big minutes.
Yeah, no one's told me this directly, but I also wondered, was the fact that he played in college for 4 years almost held against him? That can be a good form of currency that, hey, he's experienced and all that, but are they evaluating him through a curve almost where it's oh yeah, he's getting all these good numbers, but it's against underclassmen and this is misleading. But I think at the very least, he can provide some positional needs. The Lakers need a lot more outside shooting. I think he can do that. He can provide some rotation minutes. But I think the broader point that you're making about the Lakers, even if JJ Redick taps into all his potential advantages of relationship capital with LeBron and potentially being able to relate better to even, the role players and his use of analytics and the 3-point shot and possible in-game adjustments, I think that his presence alone is only due for maybe single-digit win improvements from last season. The Lakers' struggles last season largely had to do with a mix of overlapping injuries to some of their core rotation guys and a flawed roster outside of LeBron and AD. And that's the same thing that's happening this season. And then the other thing that we've hit on numerous times is this idea that because LeBron and Anthony Davis mostly played healthy last season, that does not mean that can happen again this season because LeBron's another year older and AD's injury history is what it is. And so, yeah, they're in very vulnerable times. And this idea that continuity is going to get them to another level just because continuity has been the calling card for other championship teams in recent years, it doesn't add up because the continuity for the other teams worked because they had good talent.
I think the play-in tournament in the West could be awesome. big time names in the play-in tournament, like Warriors,
LeBron and Steph
Lakers,
again.
Clippers. Throw the Suns maybe in that mix. We can get the hallway series in the play-in tournament, the one-game series in the play-in tournament. Look, it's a new NBA, and there's a certain way you have to build a team. And if you don't have the right pieces, the only way to do that is to blow the whole thing up and start from scratch. Like it's the truth, and hope that your scouts are smart enough to identify top young talent and build out that way. You can't spend your way to success anymore. Just being in a desirable market isn't enough. You've got to do things a certain way in today's NBA. And some of these kind of legacy teams, Lakers, Warriors, to a degree the Clippers, they haven't done it. And I think they're going to pay the price for that next season.